I tell marketers again and again, a gifted offer beats a gifted pen. So they won't know what the offer is if they don't know what the pain is. It's always easy to start with a question. Wondering if you can buy a home in today's market? Question mark. Would you mind?
Yeah. So I am brand new to all of this. I come from a very technical world. And this just not as a, you need to know everything about me, but I come from cyber investigations. I moved into implementation, SaaS implementation for a company. So I actually work full-time, got a whole setup here. I work full-time implementing technology into other companies. And then it was funny, about a year ago, I was like, why can't I just start my own SaaS? I don't understand. I know a lot about it. So then come in high level, and then come in UpHex and all the things. So while I have a lot of technical abilities, the whole developing, I've tried doing social media just as a way to social media managing my own stuff. And I'm trying to use what I know about that. And then I'm trying to implement that into ads. Well, I've created probably 5 or 6 ads. I spent over, in the last 45 days, we spent over $1,000 on ads. And don't get me wrong, I'm so grateful for the people who have clicked on it that I'm marketing to. We have called, they have said they didn't actually click on it, all the things. That's okay. Universe will send it my way when it comes. So that's my personality. I'm very much, things will happen when they're ready, but I also am trying to teach myself how to do this. In going in, so my idea of the marketing of UpHex was you take these things, take these. So I have a few, I wouldn't say I did the true A/B test, but I have done my own version of A/B testing of, I took the ad as it was and spent a few $100s just to say, what happens with the ad as it is? Well, I got no hits, which that I expected. So then I took it and I put our own marketing materials in it and redid the verbiage on how I would speak. And that didn't really, that's where I've gotten, I got a couple hits. And then I took it and I then took what I learned from Jason Wardrop and all of that. And again, I tried to implement that. And so we got a couple more. And so that's where I'm at right now. Again, I've been doing it for maybe 60 days total of the ads. I mean, I've been trying to get my SaaS up and running for about 5 months. But and I'm on the go high level, the highest go high level. And I'm I guess as a person who can only is only doing this part-time, trying to train myself, watching all your videos, watching all Jason Wardrop videos, watching all of Go High Level videos, all of the videos, and trying to teach myself this. I guess that's where my struggle is I feel like I'm doing what I'm being taught and implementing it in a way. I feel like I'm a pretty smart person, and able to take and take what I hear and implement it, but I'm missing some core piece of it that I'm seeing others are having good experience. And yes, and I'm working in the I would say marketing to insurance, real estate, and entrepreneurs, really. So my niche is real estate and insurance, but I'm open to entrepreneurs because I'm just surrounded by a lot of really great entrepreneurs, but I just don't feel like I have the marketing down.
Okay. The first thing that I will tell you before I ask you a question is my favorite quote ever in sales and marketing. And it's from my boy, Gary Bencivenga. And he said, I tell marketers again and again, a gifted offer beats a gifted pen. Okay. Now, I start out with that because there's a lot of people that comment in the group and that write ads and that do different things and feel like there's a sequence of words that are really going to be the best sequence of words. And there's some things you can do to make things better. However, the most important work you can do is asking 2 questions. Number 1, who am I talking to? And number 2, what do they need? Now, the biggest problem, I think a lot of people would agree that, no, that makes sense. The biggest problem with who am I talking to is 9 times out of 10, we don't go granular enough to know who we're talking to. We stay very surface level. We talk about a category. For example, real estate is a category. Insurance is a category. So that is the enemy of all advertising, is trying to speak to a category of people. So then this starts giving you other questions. And the questions are, okay, well, and it's like a dovetail thing. Like they kind of have to go together. One, who can I help the best? That's like where you should be like, what value, if I'm talking about insurance agents, who within that category can I really help the best based on my experience, based on what I know? And then two, okay, I feel like that's the person. Now I'm going to deconstruct that person entirely. All right. So that's what we're doing. I want you to pick one, real estate or insurance. So pick one.
Real estate.
Okay. Real estate. Now I have an idea that I came up with just now when you said real estate. Real estate right now has gone through, I mean, real estate last year, you know, easy peasy. You can fog a window and make money in real estate.
Yeah.
It is not the same. What we know about real estate is, regardless of what the market is doing, people do have to buy and people do have to sell. That does have to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. But how are you going to get in front of the people that are doing it? So I guess one thing, so real estate is the category. Do you have any ideas on subcategories or different factions of real estate where you might feel like you really fill a need?
Yeah, I would say middle two, but I know you're going to tell me to go on one. Two, but the main one is the middle housing market of realtors who are really focused on the people who are in affordable. I live in Washington State, so affordable housing is still $500,000 house. And so really focusing on, and I even have my persona, and thankfully I do. My first client is exactly my persona, and it really helps. Well, 1.5 of my people. The other one's my husband, who doesn't pay me. But you know, is the category is going after the person who's going after the people who can barely afford a $400,000 house, but that is their dream, that is their desire, and that is what, and the realtor that I'm going after is the person who's going to make that happen no matter what for them, and have good resources for that.
Okay. So now we know who it is. Does Washington State have first-time home buyers programs like a HUD kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's your ingredients. One, you know who you're talking to. Two, whatever it is about the HUD program, okay, or other first-time home buyer programs, that needs to be part of the conversation.
Okay.
Okay. Now I said, I tell marketers again and again, a gifted offer beats a gifted pen. So they won't know what the offer is if they don't know what the pain is. Okay. So we want to pose to start a B2B when we're talking about how am I going to get clients for my client? We want to pose, because that's a B2C actually. Okay. We want to pose, we want to start. It's always easy to start with a question. Wondering if you can buy a home in today's market? Question mark. If you're a first-time home buyer, you may not know about grants available to you and in the state of Washington. Well, there we go. Now we're tapping into, so I'm going to take a quick little segue and then we'll come right back to this, because I feel like it applies to writing the copy. Everybody talks about targeting as it's like some kind of like fancy, hey, I'm going to target people who are going to be buying homes. Okay. Well, divide your targeting into two parts. Targeting based on demographics and targeting based on psychographics. Mm-hmm. When it comes to demographics, let the Facebook algorithm do what it does better than you. And that is open it up to first-time home buyers in terms of age. So, 21 to unlimited, right? and your geography. Leave it there. When it comes to psychographics, that's where you want to start thinking, well, what kind of, when they're sitting on their phone thinking about a house, what kind of things are they looking at? Are they trying to find? Like, what don't they know? What do they need to know? What is the first point that they need to know? You need to satisfy that thing. You need to know, and you can go, I mean, you can go on Google and type in, like you're one of them, type in first-time homebuyer programs in Washington. Scroll down to the suggested terms and be like, oh, this is what else they're searching. Okay. So the mindset, the psychographics of writing an ad like that are incredibly important. All right. The easy way to do it, start out with a question based on that person. Okay. So now, because we know we're talking to a first-time home buyer in the state of Washington, there's programs available. Now we're not going to say, are you looking to buy a house? No, we're like first-time home buyers in the state of Washington. Now we're getting very specific. That is a psychographic type of targeting. Okay. And then in terms of your images and things along those lines, you know, people in front of their home. I feel like anytime I always have and this is just the way I do it. You don't have to do it this way. In my UpHex account, I always have a image version of my campaign and a video version of my campaign. Inevitably, my video version always gets better prices. I don't know why I do video, but I like to have two options. Like if the video for whatever reason is hitting some kind of attrition, I'm like, I just flip it over the image. I'm lazy. Okay. So I would go to, oh, my buddy, by the way, right now I'm getting direct messages from my friend Alex, who is actually going to do one of these with you guys, not this coming Friday, but the Friday after that. Maggie, you should be on that one because he's in the mortgage industry and he's lobbing softballs at me right now. All right. He's sending me direct messages and I'm just going to read them out. Alex, you should have posted them in the group, buddy. Actually, have I made it so you guys can all post in the group? I do this all the time. Hold on. There he is right there. Hey, Alex, you're going to be doing this in 2 weeks, but would you mind dovetailing into where I am right now and helping Maggie get off the ground with her mortgage stuff?
Yeah. Hey, Maggie.
Real estate stuff. How's
it going?
Good. Thank you.
So I just wanted to be clear. You're talking about deliverability, right? You're talking about how do you put successful ads out right now, right? And I have a mortgage agency and we do a lot of real estate ads. And what I found is really helpful is at the top to call out your audience. So in our ads, for example, we'll have something that says, in your case, it would say, attention Washington home buyers or attention Washington renters, especially if you're looking for first-time home buyers, typically they are renters, right? So calling out, who that audience is, because whenever you want somebody to click on your ad, you want them to look at your ad and say, oh, hey, that sounds exactly like me. Right? That ad is calling out to me. So what we'll do is we'll do things like this, or what we'll do is programs like home programs or renters programs, right? Because these exist in specific states. You can even get, for example, in Florida, they have something called the HEROES program, which is housing programs for first responders, right? So and the great part about this is they're employed, right? We know that they're employed from those ads, but it's always good to call out the person that you are targeting, like in big letters. I like to put emojis, right? So a fire emoji, attention Washington home buyers, a fire emoji at the end, right? And then you can say something along the lines of new renters program in Washington. Makes it easier for renters to purchase a home. And if you want to get a little risky, sometimes you'll get flagged for this. You can say, with as little as $8,000 in the bank or something like that. So what that's going to do is that's going to weed out all the poor people, right? All the people who can't really afford a home. So, we've found that to be very helpful. And it's always good to call out your audience, especially in real estate, because it's such a broad, it can be very, very broad and you want to get specific, right? So saying, you know, attention Washington renters or attention Washington residents, right? That's going to get their attention. And then you can tell them about this awesome program that you have for a real estate agent to come help them or whatever that is.
Awesome.
And then here's another tip. You know, I know Sam was talking about videos. We use still images. Here's what you do. You simply go on realtor.com or Zillow.com, right? And you're going to see a bunch of houses posted in Washington, right? You look up a house in Washington and go back like 12 pages to the old listings, right? Yeah. The houses that have already been sold that, you know, nobody's paying attention to, that no one's going to get pissed off if you use that photo. And just like, if you're looking for houses that are $400,000, go on realtor.com, look up houses in Washington for $400,000, go back 15 pages, find an old house, because when they're looking at the ad, it needs to look like a house in Washington. If you post a house in Florida on your ad, it's not going to convert as well, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so you want to have
Washington are not as pretty as Florida and Vegas, I'm telling you.
But that's okay. but that's okay, because that's not what you're going for.
Yeah.
We're not going for aesthetic. We're going for realistic, because generally when people are playing ads, I'm sorry, I'm distracted by the guy playing the guitar.
John.
He's ready. He's ready.
That's so funny. So when you're running ads, right, you want this to look as realistic as possible, because what we found is when you're going after, some states have a higher literacy level than other states, right? And it's an interesting thing that we found in the states that have the cities that have the highest literacy level, the cost per lead is much higher. And I don't know if this is 100% true, but what I've heard is that when the literacy level is high, generally the skepticism level is high too, right? So they're less likely to click on these ads. If I see the same exact ad, attention home buyers in Washington, attention home buyers in Washington, and in one, I see this beautiful house, but it doesn't look like it's from Washington.
Yeah.
And I see this other house that's shitty, but I'm like, that's a Washington house.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to go with the one that I trust more.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
There you go.
Hope that helps.
The guy's a G. And like I said, he's going to be doing the Ask Me Anything on the 20, what date? Do you remember?
I think it's February 3rd, right?
Yeah, the 3rd, not this Friday, but the following. So
Okay.
he's going to be doing that, which is awesome. I will throw one more little idea onto the back of this, because it came up to me because I do a lot of event marketing and different things like that. And in Idaho, which is where I live, we had this thing called like Parade of Homes, right? And back like 8 years ago, some guy did this thing called Home Show Daily, and it blew up. He took an old grocery store, and the grocery store, he basically put all of these contractors in there. So if you wanted to go to Home Show, you could see all the contractors and their stuff. You just went in there. He blew it up. The guy was crazy successful. Well, I was looking at that. I'm like, I started like deconstructing the different parts of it. And they used to do the same thing, but as like a parade, like you would go and you just see all the different builders and all that kind of stuff. I thought to myself, listen, if I were building a list of buyers right now, what I would do if I was a real estate agent here right now, first of all, I would throw out the old playbook because it doesn't work. And what I would do is I would start running ads and say, if you're a buyer, there are still good deals on the market. Get my list every Friday of the best home prices and these different things. And then if you want to join a group of us to, and then like invite them, hey, by the way, we're going to see these 12 homes on Friday, meet at Waffle Love, and then go. I guarantee you that would blow the doors off. So one, just the idea of saying, hey, here's the offer of these homes, because a gifted offer beats a gifted pen. They don't have this list. You're going to provide to them. So that's one. And then the deliverable, it's like, if you have other questions on this, we're going to meet here. Maybe only one person shows up. You're like, hey man, it's just you and me here. Let's have some waffles together. Let's go check it out. By the way, it looks like you're a buyer. That's one. And then two, everybody who did not, this is the one thing that I try and pass on to my clients in my agency. Just because somebody doesn't buy within the first 30-day window does not make them a bad lead, right? And what you're really doing, the strategy, like that was just your pawn. You sacrificed your pawn. What you're really doing is you're building a list of buyers.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. I just think there's always an opportunity when everybody else is running away. It's like, I wonder what I could do. Boom. I totally would do that. I had that idea when I saw you were in real estate. I'm like, what would I do? What would I do right now? This is what I would do. So anyway, Maggie, you feel like you got some more ingredients, some ability to go out there and go crush it? Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And thank you for giving me half your meeting. So I appreciate it.
Hey, everybody benefits from this. I mean, I benefited from listening to Alex. I didn't know anything about that literacy level. I wonder what my literacy level is.